So since we had a few questions about this, I want to run through this practice problem about John having money in his savings account and he's spending it on various things. So let's try and fill in the blanks here with some context. So first of all, I have John took all of his money from his savings account. So he basically withdrew the full amount and he spent $154 on a radio. So if I was to try and calculate how much money was in his account, it would be what was in his account minus 154 is what's left. Okay? Then he spent 4/7 of what was left on presents for his friends, which means that he spent 4/5 of T minus 154, which is where this is coming from right here. So that's coming from the fact that they're telling me he spent 4/7 of what was left. Well, what was left is the amount of money he withdrew minus 154. So that's where this comes from, okay? Now, I can simplify this statement by doing a little bit of tricky math here. So if I want to think about the amount of money spent between the radio and the presents, he spent 154 on the radio, which is where this comes from. Then he spent 4/7 of T minus 54 on the presents. So basically I have that starting amount, I have to subtract 154 from it, and then I have to subtract 4/7 of the subtraction of that 154. So that's where this line of work comes from. Now I would simplify this by taking 4/7, multiplying it by T, taking 4/7, multiplying it by 154, and then I'm going to add the 154 and the other term that's left so that it reduces to this. So that's what that reduced statement is getting down to. So if I look at he withdrew 154, then he withdrew this, that total together would be the amount of money, which is T, that's what he started off with, minus that simplified expression. That's where that's coming from. Now he's going to take money and he's going to redistribute it again. So this is what he has left from what we just did. We're going to simplify that by doing T minus 4/7 T, which is the same as 1 minus 4/7, which is 3/7. And then I still have minus 66 because I distributed that negative sign through there. What I have to now account for, so this is fully simplified, is then he takes 5/11 into a checking account and the last remaining 360 was left to charity. So I took 5/11 of what was left and I put it into the account. So if I want to know the amount of money given to the charity, that would be what's left after I take 5/11 out. So if I do 1 minus 5/11, that is 6/11. That's where this number's coming from. Because if I'm giving 5/11 to charity, I have 6/11 left for me. So I'm going to take it and multiply it by that simplified expression for the amount of money spent. And since I know that it was $360 that went to charity, I'm going to set it equal to 360 to solve the equation. So I'm going to do 6/11 times 3/7, which is 18 over 77. Then I'm going to do 6/11 times 66. And I'm going to get that value. Then I'm going to isolate my T by moving that value over to the right, and I get 1,694. So that is how you work through this problem. There's a lot of steps that have to happen and a lot of expressions. You have to really wrap your head around the fact that he's spending money, so T is what he starts with, and then we have to start creating those expressions for everything that he's spending out of his account.